student, welcome to the lecture series of Instrumentation and Sensor. So today in this lecture we will continue our chapter number 2, that is sensor installation and operations. Okay. So today in this lecture we will learn about sensor design, sensor measurement and measurement uncertainty. Okay. So there are different types of sensors available in market. Okay. So different types of sensor which we have studied in our previous lecture, and also the types and working principle and functions of this type of sensors also we have studied in our previous lecture. So in this lecture we are taking three sensors, and in this lecture we will study about the designs of this type of three sensors. Okay, so first one is electrical resistance strain gauge. Okay, so strain gauge is generally used to measure strain. Okay, so and how many types of networks of strain gauge? So first one is quadrant bridge network, second is half bridge network, and third one is full bridge network. Okay, so in this lecture we will learn about which type of network is quadratic bridge, half bridge and full bridge of this strain gauge. Okay, next we will learn about the LVDT, that is linear variable differential transformer. And next we will learn about the design of the vibrating wire transducer. Okay, so in this lecture we have taken only three sensor design, and in this lecture we will study it in detail. Okay, now let's start with strain gauge. Okay, so strain gauge is generally used to measure a strain. Okay, so strain gauge is a sensor whose resistance varies with the applied force. Okay, so when we applied force on any object, so strain gauge is attached to this object. So when we applied force on this object, so the resistor of the strain gauge which is connected to the object will be changed. Okay. So indirectly by measuring the resistance of the strain gauge, we can easily find out the data of the strain, force, pressure and tension. Okay. So you can clearly see in this figure, when we applied force on any object, strain gauge, compression causes resistance decrease and tension causes resistance increase. Okay, so by measuring the resistance changes, we will get the data of the force, pressure, tension, weight applied on any object. Okay, so this is the main function of the strain gauge. So we can say that when external forces are applied to a stationary object, stress and strain are the result. Okay, so there are three types of network of the strain gauge, or we can say that three type of strain gauge circuit. First one is quadrant bridge network. Okay, so the following figure show how to position a strain gauge resistor in axial configuration for a quadrant bridge type 1. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure, this one is our strain gauge and this one is our object. So a single active strain gauge element mounted in the principal direction of axial and bending strain. Okay, so this is a quadrant bridge strain gauge circuit. So here you can clearly see that this one R1, that is resistance number 1, R2 resistance number 2, R3 resistance number 3, and here we are connecting strain gauge. Okay, so here in this circuit we are using one strain gauge, so that's why this is the quadrant bridge circuit. Okay, so when there is no any force applied to object, so this circuit is in balanced condition. Okay, and when force is applied to this object, so the resistance of this circuit will be changed. Okay? So by measuring the resistance of this circuit, or we can say that by measuring the resistance of this strain gauge, we can easily collect the data regarding force, strain, tension and stress. Okay. Now next circuit or next network, that is half bridge network. Okay. So in this half bridge network, we can use two strain gauge in one bridge network. Okay, so we can say that both strain gauges will either increase or decrease resistance by the same proportion in response to changes in temperature. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure. Here we are using two strain gauge. Okay, so this one is R1 resistance, R3 resistance, and here we have strain gauge instead of R2 resistance. Okay, so here we are using two strain gauges. Okay, so we can say that both strain gauges will either increase or decrease the resistance by the same proportion according to changes in the temperature of the strain gauges. Okay, so when we applied force on the object, so the resistance of this both strain gauge will be changed. Okay, and by measuring the changes in the resistance of the both strain gauge, and we will get information regarding the force applied on object. Okay, Now next network or next circuit, that is full bridge network. Okay. So in application where such complementary pairs of strain gauges can be bounded to the test, so you can clearly see in this figure we are using four strain gauges in bridge circuit. Okay, so when we are applying force on the object, so resistance of these four strain gauges will be changed, and by measuring the resistance of the four strain gauges we will get our answer. Okay, so this is the design of strain gauge, that how we can use strain gauge in Western bridge circuit in quadrant form, in half form, or in full bridge form. Okay, now let us understand the design of linear variable differential transformer. Okay, so function of the LVDT which we have studied in our previous lecture, but let us revise it again to understand the design of the LVDT. Okay, and how it work. Okay, so LVDT is generally used in industrial and defense application for online dimensional measurement. Okay, so LVDT is generally used to measure the displacement. Okay, so you can clearly see in this figure, this one is LVDT design. Okay, that is linear variable differential transformer. Okay, so its basic structure consists of a primary coil and two secondary coils like an electrical transformer. Okay, so you can clearly see here, this one is primary coil and these two are secondary coils. Okay, now next is the core is moved by a non-magnetic rod connected to a measurement device. Okay, so this one is movable core. Okay, which is connected to non-magnetic rod. Okay, we will obtain output from the secondary winding. Okay, so when the core move, there is changes in this voltage of the secondary windings. Okay, and according to that we will get our information regarding displacement. Okay, so you can clearly see in this figure that core is at null position. Okay, so the voltage will be produced at secondary winding will be same. Okay, so we can say that the difference of the voltage of this both secondary winding is zero. When core moves left, so the voltage produced at this secondary winding number 1 is higher than the secondary winding number 2. So there is a voltage difference between these two secondary windings. So there is voltage produced in our output. If core moves right side, so voltage produced here at secondary winding number 2 is greater than the voltage produced in secondary winding number 1 or so. So also at that time we will get output. Okay, but at null position the voltage produced at this both secondary winding is same, so the difference between of these two voltage will become zero. Okay, so this is the main function of the LVDT and this is the main design of the LVDT. Okay, so we can say that with the help of LVDT we will get output regarding displacement. Okay, and also we can use LVDT for online monitoring or online dimensional measurement. Okay, now next one is vibrating wire transducer. Okay, so the fundamental concept of vibrating wire sensor is a tangent steel wire that vibrate at resonant frequency and that depends on the strain in the wire. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure that this one is tangent wire, these are electromagnetic coil, and here we have sensor cable. So generally vibrating wire transducer is used for long-term stability and wide uses of monitoring the structures such as dam, tunnels, mines, bridges, foundation, piles, unstable slopes and excavation. Okay, so this concept is generally used in civil engineering, that is vibrating wire transducer concept. Okay, because it produces output which is in the form of frequency rather the digital output form or rather the analog output form which is in the form of current and voltage. Okay, so vibrating wire transducer which produce output which is in the form of frequency. An advantage of output which is in the form of frequency that it is not affected by any external noise and we can easily transmit this frequency output signal at a long distance also. Okay, so there is no any effect of noise or environmental changes in the output which is in the form of frequency signal form. Okay, so we can use this type of transducer in civil engineering to monitor the structures like dams, tunnels, mines, bridges, foundation, piles, unstable slopes and excavation. Okay, so let us understand the design and function of the vibrating wire transducer. Okay, so here you can clearly see that this one is tension wire. Here we have electromagnetic coil and here we have sensor cable. Okay, when we are giving current input to this electromagnetic coil, so because of this electromagnetic coil, there is a tension occur in this wire. Okay, so we can say that the tension steel wire is coupled with the electromagnetic coil, and then wire is plugged when we applied electrical pulses to this electromagnetic coil, and this induce vibration in the wire. Okay, and now this wire will settle at its resonance frequency, and this vibration in turn induce current back onto the signal wire. Okay, and then this signal can be measured and used to determine the tension in the wire. Okay, so by measuring this frequency we will get information regarding the vibration. Okay, so during the excavation, during the foundation, and during the bridge, and during the construction of bridges, tunnels, dams and mines, so there are chances to occur vibration. Okay, so to measure this vibration we have to use this vibrating wire transducer to measure these vibrations. Okay, so now our next topic, that is sensor measurement. Okay, so we can say that the data measurement for the sensor is done with the data acquisition system with wireless data transmission capability and solar power supply. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure that with the help of data logger, VW interface, that multiplexer, then solar panel and radio, so with the help of this we can easily measure the data of the sensor. Okay, so due to the rapid development of precision manufacturing technology, much research has been conducted in the field of multi-sensor measurement and the data fusion technology with the goal of enhancing the monitoring capability in terms of measurement accuracy and information richness. Okay, so we can say that due to the rapid development of precision manufacturing technology. Okay, so nowadays we want precise measurement. Okay, so for that we have to find out precise accurate output value or precise measurement. Okay, so for that we can use data acquisition system. Okay, with the wireless data transmission capability. Now let us understand data logger and support software. So you can clearly see in this figure, this one is data logger and support software. Okay, so data logger are electronic device which automatically monitor and record environmental parameters over a time and allowing conditions to be measured, document, analyze and validated. Okay. So data loggers are generally electronics device which are used to automatically monitor the environmental parameters. Okay, so the data logger contains a sensor to receive the information and the computer chip to store it. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure. So then the information stored in the data logger is transferred to the computer for analysis. Okay, so data logger can run as a stand-alone device and are popular because they are portable and easy to use for specific tasks. Okay, so main advantage of data logger that it is portable. Okay, so logger in the range of monitor parameters include. So data logger is generally used to monitor the parameter like temperature, humidity, signals and three-phase power usage, to measure COT, millivolt, milliampere, voltage, pulses and count. Okay, so we can measure this parameter with the help of data log. Now next one is vibrating wire interface. You can clearly see in this figure, this one is vibrating wire interface. Okay, so vibrating wire transducer are commonly used to measure strain, load, pressure and water level. So this sensors output frequency signal generated by vibrating filaments that can be read by one of the data loggers analog channel. Okay. So this is a concept is nothing but the vibrating wire transducer like concept. Okay. So due to the vibrating wire interface, this will produce output which is in the form of frequency signal form. So it is not affected by any noisy environment. Okay, so vibrating wire transducers also have a reputation for a long-term stability. Okay. Now next one is multiplexer. So you can clearly see in this figure, this one is multiplexer. So sensor multiplexers can handle analog and digital signal. Okay, so to measure the analog and digital signal, so at that time we can use multiplexer. Okay, so some sensor multiplexer can handle up to 80 multiplex analog inputs and provide 12, 16, 18, 24 bit data. Okay, so multiplexer is generally used to convert the analog signal into the digital signal form. Okay, so fiber optic multiplexer bundle signal for transmission over the optical fiber line. Multiplexer can handle both analog and digital signals. Now next one is radio and antenna. So we can say that wireless sensing can help to significantly reduce instrumentation time and system cost. Okay, so with the help of wireless sensing, we can easily reduce the time and cost. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure that is radio and antenna. So let us understand with example that strain gauge require lengthy cable connection for power supply, which can increase the installation time and system cost. So at that time we can use wireless connection rather than by using lengthy cable. So it will become very difficult if we use lengthy cable. Okay, and installation time and system cost also increase. So wireless sensing device usually has three functional modules. First one is sensor interface, second one is computing core, and third one is wireless transceiver. Okay, so first one is sensing interface, that converting the analog sensor signal to digital data form. Then computing core, that store the data and process. And third one is wireless transceiver. Okay, so current wireless sensing device usually operate on external power source such as batteries. Okay, so wireless sensors can be connected with the sensing interface of wireless sensing device. Okay, so for wireless connection, we have to use batteries. Okay, so this is a basic measurement of the sensor with the help of wireless sensing or wireless connection. Okay. Now next one is power supply. So stable and reliable power supply is a part of online monitoring sensor for transmission lines. So currently the online monitoring sensor on the tower is mainly powered by solar, photovoltaic generation and batteries. Okay. But here extreme weather will seriously affect the power supply stability because the battery life is limited. Okay. So it is necessary to replace battery within a certain amount of time. Okay. So these are the common methods of sensor measurement. Okay. With the help of this method, we can easily measure the sensor. Okay. Now next topic, that is measurement uncertainty. So what is the meaning of measurement uncertainty? So the word uncertainty means doubt, and thus uncertainty of the measurement means the doubt about the validity or the quality of the measurement. Okay, so this is the meaning of measurement uncertainty, that the doubt about the quality and the validity of the measurement. Okay, so every measurement is subject to some measurement uncertainty. So measurement result is only complete if it is accompanied by a statement that is uncertainty in the measurement. Okay. So measurement uncertainty can come from the item being measured, from the environment, and from the operator, and from other sources. Okay. So these are the main sources of measurement uncertainties. So the measurement uncertainty comes from the item being measured, then from the environment, from the operator, and from other sources. Okay. So uncertainty of the measurement tells us something about the quality of the measurement. Okay. So we can express measurement uncertainty like this: measurement value plus or minus uncertainty. So we will express the result of the measurement in this laboratory as measurement value plus or minus uncertainty value. Okay, for example, G plus or minus dg. Okay, G is nothing but the gravitational force. Okay, so that is 9.803 plus or minus 0.008, because we have doubt about the plus 0.008 or minus 0.008. Okay, so it is either 9.803 plus 0.008 or 9.803 minus 0.008. Okay, so the round the uncertainty to one significant digit and then round the measurement to the same precision as the uncertainty. Okay. So we can say that it is not possible to make exact measurement. Okay. So all measurements have uncertainty and we will generally use metric system units. Okay. So let us understand with example. So here we have example that the length of measurement ruler A. Here we have measurement ruler A has 1 centimeter divisions. So measurement ruler has 1 centimeter divisions. Okay, here there is no any another divisions between the 0 and 1. Okay, so we can estimate the length to plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. We can estimate that this is 0.1 centimeter, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 centimeter. Okay, so so we can say that the length of this candy can is 4.2 but plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Okay, so it would be 4.3 centimeter or either 4.1 centimeter. Okay, so that's why we can represent it in the form of 4.2 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Okay, now next is ruler B has 0.1 centimeter division already given. So we can estimate the length to, this is length of the can that is 4 point, this is length of the can that is 4 point and here 1, 2 that is 4.2 and here estimate this as a 0.05. Okay, so we estimate this length that is 4.25 but we have doubt about plus 0.05 centimeters, so that's why we can represent it like this 4.25 plus or minus 0.05. So it can be either 4.26 or either 4.24 centimeter. Okay, so this is nothing but the uncertainty. Okay, so we can say that all measurements have uncertainty. Okay, so uncertainty is nothing but the doubt about the measurement or doubt about the quality and validity of the measurement. Okay, so in this lecture we have studied about sensor design. So sensor design of strain gauge, LVDT and vibrating wire transducer, and then we have studied about sensor measurement. With the help of different measurement instrument we can easily measure sensor, and also we have studied about the measurement uncertainty. Okay, thank you for watching this video.